On behalf of the Holistic Science Charitable Research Foundation, HSCRF, I want to welcome everyone for joining the June 2015 conference call. My name is Avni Desai, and I'll be your host for today's HSCRF session. Professionally, I am an inpatient pharmacy supervisor at the Houston Veteran Affairs Hospital. In my spare time, I enjoy learning about the fundamentals of holistic living, and that's what brings me here today. Let me introduce our speaker, Dr. Sailesh Mehta, or we call him Dr. Sailesh Anandji. He's a practicing ophthalmologist who owns his own hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about the deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic scientist Sri A.M. Patel, and through his grace, Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and is deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. He devotes his time to studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic inner science, he has traveled to countries such as the USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been well received at national and international conferences. He is the author of several books, which include Introduction to Holistic Science and Integral Living and Science of Liberation. Welcome, Sailesh Anandji.
So greetings to all the participants and listeners of Holistic Science Charitable Research Foundation program. In other words, I greet and welcome with feeling of oneness all the seekers and aspirants of holistic inner science study and application in their own lives.
Thank you so much for joining. Last month, we talked about governance of the world. Today's topic is holistic science view on finances. You want to start off, Dr. Sailesh Anandji?
Sure. So today's topic, finance, I think it's very, very close to every human being's heart because it's said that finance or wealth or money is our lifeline or our life itself. We sometimes don't realize the value of oxygen or air, water, basic necessities, our heart breathing spontaneously, because it's all given to us naturally. But we are focused throughout the life for this man-made part of money or wealth. Anyway, having said that, let's share a few holistic science visions on different aspects related to money or wealth. At the outset, I will like to say that when the finance is, the word comes in, our mind just thinks of dollars or pounds or rupees or currencies. But if we see, I would say it's a resources available to me for attaining my purpose or goal of the life at different stages or whatever I have. So what are all resources available to me apart from currency, which is with me? So I have many other resources. Very importantly, my own self, mind, speech, and body. I have my understanding, skills, educational qualifications, experiences, intellect. So whatever I have acquired as a human being, that's my asset, including my mind, speech, and body. Suppose my mind, speech, and body is not good, whatever amount of money lying there in the bank may not be very useful to me. Then my time is a big asset to me, how really I am using time. My breaths may not be, total lifespan may not be at the moment seeming to be in my hand, but how to use it. So time is also a big resource or asset. Intellect is also a big asset or resource. My health is a big asset or resource to me. And at the bottom line of all, what's my vision of looking at the life, what's my understanding of looking at the life, is my biggest resource, I would say. So I would say it's not only finance, but it's a wealth or overall resources available to me for my life living and attaining the purpose of my life for living. Having said that aspect, I go to the second aspect. Most of us, including myself, when I was young, I was feeling that money is the goal. Okay, I want to be millionaire, I want to be billionaire. Okay, that's a goal. So run, 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 run with all the energy, understanding, ability for the goal. But then I realized that is it a goal? No. To me, my experiences and holistic inner science visions made it more than clear. It's a tool. It's not a goal. It can never be a goal. It's just a tool. Yes, it can be a useful tool, but again, it's not only money cannot be even a tool. Third thing, why really I do need money or wealth or finances? So one word objective is happiness. So even while earning, while spending, while saving, while sharing, while caring, whatever, I always keep in focus whether is it giving me happiness or is it giving me more of stress? Is it leading to clashes in the family? Is it leading to clashes between friends? And I came to the very clear understanding at whatever stage it should be giving me happiness, then I'm on a correct way. If it doesn't give, then probably I'm not. Having said that, what should be my purpose or goal of life which I want to achieve with money? Suppose Rajani Bhai gives me out of his natural love a gift of $1 billion. What really I want to do? Do I need, do I really I'm going to go to race course or stock markets or pubs and bars to spend that away? What's my vision? So I came to know that for happiness, my immediate vision should be happy, harmonious, balanced daily living. What do I mean by balanced? You all must have heard and came across the different stories like monk who sold the Ferrari, and there was a story of a very successful young age CEO made so much success in terms of companies and monies and everything, but when he looked back, his wife had left him. Why? Because his wife saw and told that you have all the time for your dollars, you don't have time for me. So what's the purpose of my staying living with you? So here the holistic science says that my vision should be clear, that is my living balanced and holistic, meaning thereby I should be looking at the corner of money or finance, but at the same time, I should be looking at the corner of my family living as husband, wife, or parents, children, social living, then my own living as far as my health is concerned, my inner spiritual development is concerned, my inner happiness and harmony is concerned. So having said that, if my vision is clear, the money right at each stage, earning, spending or saving, will be in a correct way. So these are the few basic insights with which we can move now on to the proper topic of finances. So no sooner we come to the topic of finances, first it comes to our mind, how do I earn? How do I earn maximum? How much efforts to put? I'm putting so many efforts. Why the result is only this much? And somebody like Rajani Bhai is putting less efforts, but many people are working for him. What made him like CEO or a top boss of the company? Something. Many questions come to us on the earning part. How to earn? How much efforts to put? Really, is it only my efforts and intelligence which is making all earning, or there is some X factor, or there is something unknown or hidden factor beyond that? Then there comes to another aspect, how should I spend? And in today's scenario, we'll come to it in a detail, but just I'm outlining the whole picture. In today's scenario, the people make us spend by plastic cards and then go on paying. See, so we'll talk on that also. How much I should save? What should I save? And in spending part also, there are many finer details, how much to spend on my luxuries, how much to spend for some other purposes of the life or higher purposes, how much or really should I save? Because especially in your part of the world, Western world, or many areas I have moved across, Friday evening people are done with the salary, or at the most Saturday, and Monday they are looking for borrowing something. So is that a good strategy for life and living? And as I said, if it brings me the ultimate quality of life, I would say quality of life. So what's the overall quality of life I'm looking for, having millions or billions or whatever I have in my hand? So if you allow me, we can go step by step on all the different aspects, starting from earning. Do you want me to elaborate onto that a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in a present world scenario, especially, everybody feels that I should try to earn maximum. Now, suppose I'm earning maybe 100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, and my colleague having a better job or something doing else, is she or he is earning more. So let's run. So we are running more as if we are running in a race course like horses. So competition and comparison, and that very competition and comparison is taking away my happiness of whatever I already have, and rather than enjoying with whatever I have, I've seen n number of examples. Many people having built up a very good house and got the good furnitures and sofas and easy chairs, but the mind being occupied into the race course, they can't enjoy whatever they have right now with the available money, and they're always lost in the stress and worry of what they do not have. So enjoy whatever is in front and available, and don't get bothered or worried by the things not available. So meaning thereby, I don't want to say one must not try to, and one must, but one must not be driven by the folk visions, like, or the way the whole community or the group of people is doing, but rather I should be focused that whether it is in line with my happiness, whether it is in line with my vision of quality. So how really the people earn? Yes, my honesty, my sincerity, or my integrity, along with my hard work and skills or ability, do play a major role. But sometimes we are putting all the hard work, CEO not putting, or manager not putting, or somebody not putting that work. We are working for him or her or for that, and they are earning more, or the stockholders are earning much more than what we are. So what's the another factor? So it is said that, okay, you do your best depending on your honesty, integrity, sincerity, or abilities and skills, but there is another natural factor. The scriptures say it is a meritorious balance of meritorious deeds, or the debit or the influence of non-meritorious deeds, or whatever you say, which also comes into play. So there are, everybody experiences that there are lifespans or periods in the life where whatever we do, it becomes favorable and comes our way, and we may earn more than expected. And there may be lifespans or periods that whatever hard we may do, putting all the best, but rather the things go other way around. We have purchased the stocks, researching it a lot, and it bubble bursts up, and we'll lose a large part of our saving. So here is the play of X factor, or meritorious or non-meritorious influence of those dates. So having said all together, how should I earn and how much effort should I put? Before that, there is another interesting part of the story, or interesting part of the science, that as I said that it's a tool and it's not a goal. Now we are always focused on to earning and money part and how much I earn. But have we ever thought that our intents count? So it's a story of main product and byproduct. Suppose Rajni Bhai has taught me something, and I thought, okay, let me put one factory for this my main product, and because the byproduct is also sellable, let me put another factory of wastage or byproduct separately. And Rajani Bhai will start laughing at me, dear gentleman, become better become a doctor. You are not knowing that you do not need a separate factory for a wastage or a byproduct because it comes free of cost out of main product. So here meaning thereby, if my main product means my intent behind any activity, whether I'm a professional, whether I'm a businessman, whether I'm a manufacturer, whatever capacity I'm working, people may have one of the two intents. Today, the intent seems to be driving larger and larger figures. We are focused only on figures, and focusing on figures, we are hardly taking care of the human aspect. Uh, and that leads to all the stress and so many other things. Whereas holistic inner science says that if my intent is to help the people, to oblige the people, to take care of the interest, if I'm a doctor, if the interest of my patient is at my heart, okay, how can I help her or he? How can I soothe him or her? How can I help them getting rid of their illnesses? If you are a businessman or if you are a CEO, best is how the consumers of these products get the best for their money, how the employees or the shareholders or the stakeholders also get best for whatever they are putting in. Believe me, that holistic inner science assures that as a byproduct, money, not only money, name, fame, trustworthiness, credibility, everything will come your way as a byproduct free of cost. But not knowing this secret, we all are lost onto the byproduct and just miss the main product. And that's very aspect that at each stage, rather than giving me fulfillment and happiness, starts giving me stress and feeling of insecurity that when the other will surpass me. But if I know this vision, if I'm clear at my heart that let me work the whatever best possible, so I can oblige the people, I can help, I can care, I can share, I can take care of the interest of all those who are involved into this activity of mine one or other way, then as a byproduct, all these things will come to me as a free of cost. And right from the moment my inner attitude and inclination changes, my heart will be having fulfillment, positivity, positive energy, and universe has everything. So even I will get more and more higher ideas, higher understanding, and more positive people coming to my way by way of this cause or intent. So this is a very important aspect that you earn. You put whatever hard work you want to, but be careful about your intents or inner inclinations or attitudes or inner decisions, and keep your main product correct. Nature will take care of the byproduct. Second important aspect, so many of you, especially the young people, ask me that the more we work, more we are paid by the management, and 12 hours, 14 hours, how many hours should we be working? And it's a common scenario that even on a dining table in the evening, even if my body is just falling down, I'm on my laptop, computer, doing project work and
Oh,
doing connecting with somebody, and children have gone asleep, and wife has just put me the dish. So is that a correct scenario? No. Everything in normality, normality is the essence of life. Above normal is also not good, below normal is also not good. And today's world, especially the corporate world, is driving us more and more to work above normal. I had a lovely real life situation example. 1 month back, I was in Brisbane. A young husband in 30s and 35s was putting so much hard work and really earning and got a big house to her wife. And you enjoy, I'm working, let me work for 10 years so that our life is good. And unfortunately, his wife came out, yes, everything is good, but he doesn't have time for me. So she was, amongst all these things, was unhappy. So balance. So normal and natural efforts. So normal and natural efforts, normality, just see, looking to your mind, speech and body, looking to your family and other situations, what's normality for you. It may be different at different stages. In young age, you may be working for 10 hours. Down the line, you may want to cut it down to 6 or 8 hours or whatever you see. So normal and natural efforts. The holistic inner scientist humorously says that, do you really work hard to perspire or to sweat, I mean, or to get the toxins out of the body? Never. You never think of it. It's just natural. Similarly, this is also just natural. Think a little bit, but don't run after it so much so that you lose track of other things. So normal and natural efforts for earning, and a proper intent or the main product and byproduct. So that's what I think is on the side of how to earn and how much efforts to put on earning. Then comes the another important aspect, how to spend and how much to spend. And unfortunately, today's economy, Rajani Bhai just shared one article with me. It was in Yes magazine of March, I think, 2015 or one, some Sarah. And the title was How We Americans Lost Good Life and Where to Find It Now. And one of the center point was today's marketing people, and there are so many market MBAs people, they are driving us to consume more, to have more, to consume more, to have more, to consume more, use plastic, use plastic, use plastic. And we fall prey to it. I have iPhone 5, and before I really used the functions properly, I'm pushed with iPhone 6, and because Avani has it, I must have it. So this is really pushing us to a lot of unnecessary things. So I should be very wise for spending. I should be spending on my basic necessities very well. The economy should not go to my kitchen. I should be having good basic amenities. But having said that, I should be thinking what is essential for me, basic, and what is excess or luxuries for me. And I can have the luxuries or comforts, but not because the others are doing it, not by looking or comparing at the others. What's really my mind, speech and body is asking, what's my family is asking, something. So basic necessity and access. So spend wisely, don't overspend by plastic cards. Second thing, suppose I'm earning $10,000 a month, how should I plan my spending part? And it said that maybe between 25 to 30-40% or whatever you spend for your basic necessities, including paying installments for your houses and other things, the loans or mortgages which you had taken for your education or something, depending on your variable situation and phase of life. Second part is I should be having an eye of saving something. So there are two distinct schools of thought. The Western school of thought believes in spend first, have more, consume more, and then see what is left out or how much is my borrowing and how to repay it. And there is another school of thought which I consider a wise school of thought, that whatever I have earned, what should I be saving first as a bare essential amount, and then rest of my part I should plan to spend. So as I said, apart on my basic necessities and repaying my basic things which I have borrowed before, a part should go into a long-term and short-term savings, which is helpful to me in some future unforeseen circumstances coming up. So at no time I'm strangled or I'm against the wall that now what should I do? Who would borrow me? So one part should go into a long-term and short-term savings, and that again, where to save? In stock markets? Probably no, because it's very volatile. It will always keep you on a roller coaster. But find out the safe instruments, like a safe secured government bonds maybe there. Maybe you want to diversify your saving part into a part into long-term or short-term secured measures or bonds or government instruments, part into property or land or something, part into gold, so that in any given diverse situation your saving and investments for the future safety are safe. And last but not least, a part I should have been saving for sharing with others. That is to say, for charity, for donating. And n number of researches now have proved that it gives more fulfillment and it gives more happiness, including my body's better health by way of positive attitudes, that sharing is more valuable than having. You may have less, but you may be able to share more. Sometimes not in terms of finances only, but by way of giving good advice, by spending time for some helping others. So obliging nature, having or sharing a part for good cause, maybe providing food, maybe providing some help in ailments or medicinal part, maybe providing help for educational career of a student or somebody, maybe a part for spread of real knowledge which transforms the life of our own self as well as thousands. What we say is spreading something like holistic inner science, which not only enables you to have happy harmonious inner living and reach your ultimate goal, but enables you to spread it and instrumental for thousands of people to have the real happiness of the life. So my spending should be very, very wise. And certainly it's very, very important to keep an eye, as we keep an eye on how and we are earning and how much we are earning, but it's more important to keep an eye on where our money is going out. And I would certainly not want my money to go out on any bad way or bad tract, like bad habits or pubs or drinks and bars. So this brings me to another very interesting and important aspect, that as the money is coming in and going out, one aspect we just saw, whether it is giving me happiness or it is giving me clashes and stresses. Second important aspect, the money coming in and going out, is it giving me higher thoughts? Is it leading me to the higher purpose of my life in living me? Or is it dragging me down to the lower purposes or bad habits and something which the people and even I would not appreciate if I look at my life neutrally. So this is a spending part and a saving part, as I just elaborated a little, and I think that covers the basic aspects of the money and finance. Of course, the other aspects of time and intellect and my other things we will keep at the back, just having mentioned that. We are open to the questions. One more important aspect, I would still more like to add how to earn aspect. When we were talking, we talked about efforts, how many efforts, and we talked about main product and byproduct, but I missed one part, that in today's world, if we take the world and mankind as a whole, sometimes in a rat race, I become dishonest. Dishonest to my consumers, dishonest to employees, dishonest to stake or shareholders or whatever. Because as a manager, I don't want to lose any opportunity of earning or grabbing, I would say, maximum, and sharing, I would love to share minimum with the stakeholders or whatever. But here, I have to look within, that what's really important. Is it honesty, which is good policy, or is it dishonesty or smartness, I would say, in today's world? We don't use the word dishonesty, we use the word smartness, and I'm smart, whatever it may be. But holistic inner science just teaches very important lesson, that each action of my mind, speech, and body, before affecting others, do affect me first. And if I realize and if I'm observant within, looking what is happening within me, I soon realize that dishonesty is the best foolishness. How and why? Because on the surface, it appears it is bringing me more dollars. But if I look within, no sooner I am trying to be dishonest to anybody, inner clash starts within myself. There is unrest, there is a stress, The one of the important reason in present modern world of stress, apart from many others, is because what I think I cannot speak, and what I speak I do not behave or act. There is a disparity between my mind, speech, and body. So that itself is a starting point of dishonesty. So even if a lie detector machine is attached with my body, it will record the changes. And somebody has found a computer program that you are sitting at the other part of the world and I'm sitting here, and even the computer software has been developed to find out that the fellow is honest or dishonest, he is lying or he is telling the truth. So having said that, if the dead machines can pick up so much changes in my body, what really must have been happening? So, and when the other person knows the world works on very subtle principles, even the quantum physicist has been trying to find out what all these subtle principles are, and no sooner my mind is trying to play over smart over you, the vibrations will reach you, you will be on your guard how to save yourself, and he or she is making me fool or whatever. And when it is known, the credibility or trustworthiness is lost, and in the longer run I'll be a loser in the business. So even if we see the history, in a short term the businesses may have so-called done well by these all over smart techniques, but in the longer run only the honest and value-based businesses do thrive, otherwise they do perish away. So that's one important aspect in way of earning I just had missed, so I just added. And now we are open to questions.
Wow, that wonderful. I think some of the key tools that you presented, the first concept when you talked about finances being more than just about money, I think that was one of the critical things that really opened up the discussion even further. You talked about how finances included time, the resources of mind, speech, and body, the intellect, the health, the vision. Then you went on to concept 2 and you talked about how money should be used not as a tool, not as a goal. I think that was a really interesting concept because you can really think about that in efforts for your long-term career goals. And then you mentioned a third concept of happiness, is identifying money as, is this providing happiness, and really questioning whether or not we're getting the fulfillment of life with what we are earning. I think the concept of why, you know, we all ask, why do I earn this much? Why do I earn that much? I think when you touched on the balance of meritorious deeds, and that's really contributing towards how much we earn in comparison to the efforts that we're putting in, I think that calms the nerves down when you're thinking, hey, I'm putting in so much time and energy and I'm still not being recognized at work, or I'm still not getting the raise appropriately as I feel like I should. I think that really helped me. And then some of the other concepts, I like the concept of everything in normality. I think that really tells us to think about, you know, how much percentage we're allocating towards different areas. So let me start out then with one of the questions that I have. Can you explain, there's a fundamental that I've heard, that there should be dharma in business, but there should be no business in dharma. So what does that exactly mean?
Yes, I had already partly touched it. Dharma, it doesn't indicate religion or faith here. Dharma indicates your principled, moral, duty-bound behavior. And if I expand it, suppose I'm a manager or I'm an employee. If I'm an employee of the company, I have a dharma to work for the company sincerely, honestly, with my attitude how best and how much best I can give to my company, or work for the thing which I have given. In present times, so many times we are stressed with one common complaint at our mind and our intellect level, that my boss or my manager or superior or whosoever management, whosoever is it, is giving me more work. Why should I do his work or her work and whatnot? And our mind and intellect complains on one hand of being given more work and tries to find out on another hand how to escape it and still on the same. When the bonus is due, we again complain that why I am not given the same increment and same promotion and same bonus. But when it comes to giving it, I am always on the other side. So I have a dharma, means my moral, principled, duty-bound role in different capacities of life. And it doesn't mean business or commerce is only what is involving dollars or pounds or rupees. It says every give and take relation, interconnected dealings as human being. If I am at home, if I am wife, I have my dharma as a wife towards my husband, towards my children, towards other elderly members of the family, or whosoever way I am connected. And there I should be aware of my dharma as a wife, not only as a manager in a company. And if I'm a husband, I have a dharma as husband to take care of the wife, to take care of the children, to take care of the family. If I'm a teacher, I have a dharma towards my students. If I'm a student, I have a dharma. Similarly, that means in every walk of life. So when we apply this principle to earning activity or corporates or businesses, as I had already said, that my dharma should be how can I become as transparent, as honest, as sincere, and especially taking care of the interest. My dharma is to provide goods which are good for my consumers, whatever best I can do. My dharma towards my other employees or stakeholders. If you are a pharmacist and somebody comes to you, then you should be advising correctly. Okay, to my mind, if I have to take, if my mother has to take, I'll go like this approach of treatment or this approach of medicine. This is what best I understood. You are free to choose your alternatives, but this is what I would suggest you. And not that what is giving you the more percentage of commissions or incentives that the people put on the front of the shelf, and the thing which is giving less revenues, they conveniently put at the back rack so the eyes see only the things on the front. So my dharma, as there are two important words, sincerity and morality. Morality means whatever is lawfully mine, I can enjoy. And sincerity, whatever I'm doing going to do for myself, only I should be doing for others. Am I going to buy the same product? Am I going to consume the same drug? Am I going to use the same strategy for myself? Then I should be suggesting it to others. So it's a very wide spectrum, that if I have this understanding that there should be dharma, means sincerity, morality, and taking care of interest of others. Believe me, there is no other in the world. When I'm trying to help others, when I'm trying to take care of others, first I'm helping myself, first I'm taking my inner self, taking care of my inner self. So there should be dharma in commerce, means any give and take relations in whatever capacity or role we are into. And there should be no commerce in the dharma, means whenever we are deliberating or trying to acquire the knowledge or share the knowledge pertaining to the life and living, or pertaining to the correct understanding of any walk of life or living, relative or real. Relative means whether it's career oriented, family oriented, whatever, and real means pertaining to the inner self. There should be no thought of commercial gains. Today we all know that all these activities have gone into big businesses. The people charge thousands and thousands of dollars for teaching you so-called yoga, so-called other things, so-called management courses and whatnot, lifestyles and whatever you name it. And all the so-called dharmas are also have turned into big business houses. Somebody was humorously telling me in Australia that I want to convert a part of my house into a temple. So the people come and they would put some donation, and in my retirement life I would have good income out of that. So that's a hidden motive which takes away really and that will never work. It will never touch the heart of the people. It will never work. So a dharma or any sharing activity where one is trying to share some correct visions for one's own self as well as for others, will work only and only if it is free of commerce, means it is free of money business. Money will come and go, but it will come and go naturally, means by way of dharma, as an essential need, but not as a commercial activity, only when it is free of money and sensual pleasures, then only it will work. So that is how this very divine aphorism, two sentences, but encompasses and touches the life and living of the entire mankind over the globe. If it is understood in the proper perspective, that there should be dharma in life, commerce, or I would say life business. And my business, as I said, as a husband, as a wife, as a children, as a parent, as a friend, as a colleague, as a businessman, service provider or service taker, whatever it may be. And there should not be any commerce or business rather in dharma or activities pertaining to the correct understanding of life and living.
Thank you. That was a very good answer. I think my focus should really be on the dharma of, being the dutiful and focusing on my roles, and not really focusing on the greed aspect of the business when I'm fulfilling these roles.
And if I want to again clarify the point which I had clarified beforehand, if there is no dharma, or if I'm losing track of dharma in my business, it will lead to stress, it will lead to clash, it will lead to lack of harmony. And there was a wonderful article by one Harvard professor, How Would You Measure Life? And into that he had really given the examples of CEOs going into jail because they lost track of dharma.
Yeah.
That was the height of it. But having said, if I don't have dharma, what happens? The other extreme or other aspects also have to consider. On one side, I'm considering the positive aspects of having dharma in business. On other side, I should be aware of losing dharma and bearing the consequences of it.
Absolutely. I think it's very important to recognize the humanistic components that must be there when you're balancing the business. There is another question about money buying happiness. Why is it said that money cannot buy happiness?
Yes. So I would say money can buy happiness. I would not say unilateral statement money cannot buy happiness. But that I will elaborate later on how the money can be a tool to buy happiness. First, I will focus on what you are expecting me to focus, that how money fails to buy happiness. And here, as I said, does happiness lies in abundance of things? If it would have been so, at least all of you staying in USA or affluent parts of the world should be always freely smiling. There should be free smile on all your faces, because you have n number of clothes. Even you don't know how many clothes are lying in the wardrobe, and sometimes during the whole year you may not have used few pairs. There are n number of shoes. I see the children who they don't know how many shoes they are having and what they are wearing, and there are n number of 1, 2, or 3 freezes are lying idle in the garage. So there are abundance of the things available, but still we are not finding happiness. One of my doctor friend's daughter, who was a physiotherapist, who is a physiotherapist, migrated from India to US and settled down there. After 2 years, she rang her mom. Mom, here there is everything in plenty, more than needed. But I don't know, somehow I feel empty within.
Oh.
I am empty at level of my heart. So here the holistic science says that you can have the things. There is no objection to having the things. Enjoy whatever is available and in front. But at the same time, learn that only things do not make you happy. It is not because of and due to something or other thing that you can become happy or not happy. Happiness is not at the level of mind or ego. Our ego may say, oh, I have more than Avani, I have more than Sejal. But happiness lies at the level of heart, and how we can have the happiness or fulfillment at the level of heart. When I start giving something, when I start helping somebody, I decide to help somebody. Oh, she or he or she is in a trouble or needs something. Okay, I'll go and help her. Yet I have not gone and helped really out. But from the moment I decide, I start feeling happy. I decide to give chocolates to children. Yet I have not spent even gone to a $1 shop, not bought anything. But from the moment I decide, Rajani Bhai decides that, okay, it is Sonali's birthday coming after 15 days and I'll invite her classmates and throw a small party. Yet he has not spent anything from his credit card. From the moment he decides, he starts feeling happy. So the secret is, whatever actions of my mind, speech and body which are going to make others happy do make me happy first. So it is obliging, it is helping, it is sharing, it is caring which is making really me happy. It's not only the money which is going to make me happy. Having said that, it is the correct or incorrect understanding which lies at the bottom of my happiness. And if I have the correct understanding, okay, let me try to help the people, let me try to take care of the people and share, then the money really becomes important to buy the happiness, because I can oblige the people, I help the people. See, the uh, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all are following the footsteps that, okay, now we have earned enough, now let's share, let's help the
Right.
people. So that, and that's, yes, money can or cannot, there are both aspects depending on with what understanding you are using money or you are looking at the money. So it is not, no statement can be one sided, it has to be a multifaceted pluralistic statement. So in a worldly parlance, the way world is looking to have more and consume more by way of money, it is failing to buy the happiness at the level of heart. But once you have the correct understanding that, okay, what gives me happiness, whatever actions of my mind, speech and body which are going to make others happy do make me happy first, then money can be your good friend. See, nothing happens in the world without money, that's also true.
Right.
And at the same time, money is not inevitable also. We have seen the holistic scientists not keeping a single rupee or a single dollar in the pocket, moving across the globe, so happy that whosoever comes into his vicinity or in that atmosphere, just by sitting there becomes happier, because their inner treasure of the happiness was opened out. So both things are true. Money can be useful tool when you have correct understanding, and at the same time it is not inevitable. At the same time, let me put the another important subtle aspect of our life and living science, that really, is it dependent on the amount of money, that how much happiness or unhappiness we suffer during the life, or is it something else? And very importantly, money can be a useful thing, but my suffering of happiness and unhappiness at any given moment of time is not directly related to money. So many times on a grosser level we have seen the examples. See, I see so many single parents in India or this part of the world where only one child goes in search of career to USA or Australia, earns a lot, sends parents lot of money also. Money is more than required, but parents are unhappy within, because there is nobody to talk, nobody their own to take care of them in the sickness. And somebody may have less money, but they may have many lovely, loving people around them to take care of them in time of need. So the holistic science says that how much comfort or discomfort, inner happiness or unhappiness you are going to pass through depends on two things: your previous seeds giving you the effects, cause and effect relationship. It's not related to the extraneous circumstances, money being one of that directly. And second, more importantly, it depends on your vision of looking at the things, how you are looking at those particular situation. We may look and suffer due to negative or incorrect vision. Somebody will gain in the same situation having the positive vision or the correct vision. Even the physicists like Einstein came out with a beautiful statement that there lies opportunity in every difficulty. And I'm thankful to all those who said me no. Because of them, I did it myself and I developed and I learned more. So money is important, one of the important evidence, but not the only evidence to bring me happiness, or so for that matter unhappiness. Yes, money can readily bring me unhappiness if I don't have the correct vision about the money. I have been observing all around that we are spending whole our life, more than what our energy permits us, about earning and accumulating money. But is that money bringing me harmony? Right in the family, it starts with the clashes. Oh, it's my money. In USA, everybody, even the child says, it's my money, daddy. It's not your money, my and your. And husband, wife also, my and your. And the clashes start. Oh, you owe me this much. This is a spending. Your share is this much. My share is this much. Rather than giving me harmony and happiness, it becomes the tool to lead to me clashes and divisiveness. Am I right? Is
Yes.
this money doing me a good purpose?
No.
It separates husband wife, it separates brothers, it separates sisters, it separates family members, it separates us. Is it a correct thing? Should it be leading to stresses and disputes and other things? So I should be very vigilant about the understanding part. Money is not at a fault. It's
Right.
my understanding which is very, very vital.
So it sounds like you have the right intention with the money. If you're using it for the best interest of others, it sounds like that's really going to be the true test as to whether money can bring you happiness or not. That was a very good thought. Let's move on to questions from the audience then. I'm going to start off with, it looks like Rajni Bhai. Rajni Bhai has a question.
Uh, good good evening, Dr. Sailashanji.
Good evening. In my
Uh,
part, it is good morning, so I say you good evening and good morning both.
okay, thank you very much for bringing out that finance is not money only, but wealth as defined by the holistic Hindu science. Now, in the wealth and in this rat race, we go for more money, and spend more money, and that is greed as far as I can think. And if it is greed in our my dharma or my religion, how should I, uh, how would it start decreasing my greed so I can start living a better life?
Yeah, you are asking the question about a greed part, but how really to understand the greed? Let me go to very basic question. Greed in a scripture is a word, I know that, but in my daily living, I want to find out, am I really greedy or not? And most of us feel that no, we are not greedy. We are doing it out of necessity. The world needs it. So if I try to understand the greed, probably I come to understanding that greed is one thing which remain normal and natural. At the outset, it snatches away my normality or naturality. I have money, my things are going well, but my mind and intellect says, okay, have more balance, have more balance, have more stocks. There was an interesting story, and I think all of you know that one very brilliant marketing guy expert went to a fisherman and said he was lying, relaxing on the bank of a river in the afternoon. So why you are relaxing and the whole day is still left for you to work? Oh, I have caught enough of fishes, and so I'm done and I'm relaxing. But why can't you have more? So the fisherman asked, "What do you do? What do I do by?" Okay, you will save more, then have more, invest more, then have more boats, then have good thing for more saving for future, have a big company, then you will be happy. And then gentleman said, I am happy really right now only. Why to do all these things to become happy? So happiness in the present moment, one which snatches away my happiness, my normality and naturality in the present moment. I should be looking, is it out of my basic necessities that it is happening, or is it because of my drive for accumulating more, for collecting more? When my mind is always entangled into having more and investing more and saving more and doing more and more and more for the future, I think I should identify that it's probably my greed which is driving me, and it's not my want. See, people say, is it your need and want? I'm not knowing the finer aspects, but this is what I feel, that it is keeping me engaged. So having said that, the another aspect of greed is uh, when it comes to spending, I will not be able to spend even if I feel that it is worthwhile spending, especially helping, especially giving out, especially sharing, or especially even for myself. If I look at my own self, suppose we are in India, we have very bad summers here, and if I have to travel during summer, I will think twice that how much the travel in AC cost me and how much the travel in non-AC will cost me. So when I'm compromising my body's need or basic need because of the amount of money, probably it is greed and it is not economy. So economy is having good quality at the reasonable price or saving on. But greed is compromising with the quality and trying to accumulate or save more.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we have another question from Sejal. Sejal? I'm not sure if we can hear her, so I'm gonna.
No,
I
I'm not.
apologize. Yes, I was trying to unmute. Good morning or good evening. My question is, when we come across certain phases in our life where our non-meritorious deeds or our bad deeds, in a sense, are being experienced and we feel a financial burden, during these times we do a lot of comparisons, or we do work harder to try to get more, or etc. What is the best way to come out of these troubled times, or what's the best way to approach the world or our thoughts during this financial burden?
Okay, so Sejal is taking me to the area where I'm feeling some financial shortage or burden. I'll separate the two words, shortage and burden. Coming to the shortage part, suppose I'm pursuing my higher education and I do not have enough money, may not have. I had seen those phases in life, but I looked within and without, and nature was so kind enough that I was allowed my basic necessities, and I got loans and scholarships from some resources with liberal conditions to repay it once I am done. And I was never happy, not, sorry, I was never unhappy. I never felt that it is a burden. In fact, that situation helped me a lot to keep focused, to develop from within, to get more matured as compared to those students who were having golden spoon in their mouth, means they were from the more affluent families. So if you look at the overall perspective the nature is putting you into, there is always something to be gained. That you may feel that, okay, there is some hardship as far as the money is concerned, but as I said, the meritorious deeds is one where with some difficulty you can still pursue and attain and achieve your purpose or goal, maybe study, maybe anything, maybe treatment for the sickness, or maybe getting your son or daughter married or whatever, and that is not hampered. And when you look within, it provides you the opportunity to become a better person, to become a more matured person, to have the more understanding and correct understanding. That is one aspect. Then the second aspect, how to sail through such times. To sail through such times, we have look within. As long as my inner self is stable, as long as I'm not shaken, my confidence or my inner relative inner self is not shaken, nothing is going to be shaken in the outside world. That's the cardinal principle. Only when I'm broken from within, the things will break outside. So my understanding, there's a very vast understanding, not only on my inner self or inner abilities or inner understanding, my inner intents also give me the strength to pass. If I have the correct intents, it gives me the inner strength to pass through the challenging times. And knowing the rules of the nature, how the nature is really operating. Nature is always there to help you. Nature says, I am always there to help you. Whatever you are asking, if your intents are correct, if your inputs are correct, I will always be helping you positively or negatively. So always keep positive and do your best and leave rest to nature. So that is second part. Third part, at the level of mind, to get the strength of mind, different people use different strategies, and here in holistic inner science we use these strategies like 3 mantras or 9 codes or asking for inner energy. So what I'm trying to say is, in those circumstances, the circumstances or the world outside is really not very important. It is the world within me, how the things within me are staying, how I take them from within, which is very, very important, essential and vital. And it is the world within me which is really the secret, and which is really the basic and important factor for the nature also to help or not help me. So this way. And burden, let me address the word burden. Most of the times we create the burden by our wrong understanding. We overbuy the things, we take the loans more than what we should have been taking. We can see, when I was studying, I saw that, okay, I have less funds, my father is not capable. I never had a complaint that why my father is not able to provide me the funds, never, ever. And I was very happy to use the second-hand books also. It was not necessary for me to buy the new books because new medical books cost a lot. So it is here that I can have the wise understanding as far as what are basic essentials for me. I may not go for costliest laptop and the highest iPhone when I'm studying or when I'm feeling but I allocate my funds to what is basic required in this situation. Then my burden will not be there. Most of the times the world feels under burden because they have overspent or overborrowed for the excess things, for the luxuries, or looking at the other people that what they are doing and not what is really required to them for this purpose of time. So if we are having correct understanding, if we are aware, if we are not going by comparison and competition, most of the times we will not be creating burden as far as the finances are concerned by our own doing. And whenever there is a natural shortage, take it as a test. The nature is obliging you to undergo that test and come out as a more brighter or a more better person. And if you have things correct within yourself, believe me, your journey will not be obstructed or will not be jeopardized or will not come to hold just for the sake of money. Am I sound making some sense, Sejal?
Absolutely. You've actually answered that very eloquently. That answered that question along with everything that was related to that, and I think that will help anytime you run into that phase in your life or you feel there may be a shortage. I can understand that the concept of burden is more of an internal reflection. It's not actually a burden itself. So
burden and shortage, I would put two different
categories,
scenarios. And I feel that shortage, especially one usually feels during the student life. But once we are earning, if we are feeling burden, I think it is our wrong strategy of spending which is leading to burden.
Right. I like that.
You are earning, you have enough of food, you have enough of clothes, and still how can you fall into burden? You may not go for a big flats and EMIs, and American society and banks were driving at one time, we will refinance it. Oh my God, I don't need it. You will refinance. So many people come to me, sir, we will give you loan at so much low rates. I said, but why do I need to take loan? I have enough at the moment. I put deposit and don't take loans. This is my part of story. So meaning that why you do whatever, but you remain thoughtful,
right,
and careful. I have another interesting story to tell. A very bright chartered accountant boy came to see a girl for getting engaged. He already had good earning and he had bought a flat, but he never divulged it to the girl uh, he was they were interviewing, and just saw whether the girl is ready to live with him, seeing what he is right now, not realizing that he already has a flat or he already has something. And the girl was wise. She just saw that he is a good boy with good understanding. So everything will come into place. Never asked whether you have a car, whether you have a flat, whether you have a what, and married. And then, as a pleasant surprise, that boy revealed that I already have bought a flat in a good city like Pune, but I never wanted you to know that before you make your selection, because in that case you would have married to my properties and not to me. How many of us really do that? We have conditions. Okay, this much big flat in this area and this car. Not only this ordinary car, but I want BMW. Oh my God. So burden is, I would say, self-created most of the times. It is not created by nature or circumstances. Nature or circumstances at the most can create a little shortage. I would say little, not more. But as long as I have my inner resources intact, my understanding, my skills, my intellect, my ability, my time management, I think I can easily overcome the money part. It is my inner, and you see, most of the bright students who are doing excellent in studies, most of them or many of them, if not most, they study in scarcity. And the people having abundance, they do not have incentive to study more or do well in whatever. Whereas for that poor fellow, it is do or die. So he puts everything into it and excels.
It's very true.
All the stories, even the Bill Gates, they started in a small garage, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever, and a small thing and small company with, I don't know, few dollars, whatever it may be. And passing through the test of the time, they made it.
All right. We're going to move on to our final question. Looks like we have one more person, Rashmi.
Yes, thank you, Salary Shannon-ji, for this very interesting talk. Everything that you mentioned today really hit close to home, especially your example about money can't buy happiness, about how your friend said that in the US, wealth can get you a lot of things, but you still feel like there's something missing. My question today is more of something we face now, at least I think a lot of people my age face, is when you finish studying and you're working, and a lot of people tell you now you need to start thinking about retirement, and you need to start putting in money into your retirement account for money that you can use when you turn 65 and above. And a lot of minds, at least now with this holistic understanding, you know how we say you should plan, you should save, but you can't worry about the future. So yes. A certain part of me wants to be like, you want to help people around you, you want to help your family, you want to not just spend money with recklessly, but do a lot of things with that since you're at a position to do it. So how do you fight this internal struggle? I don't even know if I'm going to be around till 65. So how do I start planning about that versus now?
So the best way is, as I said, live in presence. Live in presence. Once whose presence is taken care of, the future will all automatically be taken care of. Having said that basic sentence, fundamental sentence, at present, as we already discussed, if I have earning, let's say $10,000, then I'll think that, okay, a part of it, maybe 30–40%, whatever is required, goes for meeting my basic necessities and repaying the loans. Part goes into long and short-term savings, which, as the people say, retirement planning or whatever you say. I say it's a future, for future, something. And a part I will be using for charity, donation, or sharing. So people feel that, okay, let me now focus only on my own necessities and my own retirement, and I'll do whatever is surplus at the end. But that future never comes if you are postponing your sharing or donation or charity part for the future, that when I'll turn to 50 or 60, I'll start doing that, probably it may not come, because you never know. So present is most important. Start doing whatever you feel correct right now, here and now. Whatever amount, you can have small amount, you can have some amount, whatever it is, 3%, 5%, 7%, people decide. Because unless we decide, our mind have loose ends, and mind always have some excuses that this time I have to pay the installment for this time I'm doing this. So it will not allow you. The greed will not allow you. So have some pattern that, okay, barring some unforeseen circumstances, I will try to keep aside 5%, 7%, 3%, or 10%. Most of the good living patterns teach the people that try to set aside 10% for others or sharing or some other purpose. And there is no other in the world. I'm doing it for myself, basically. And if 10% seems to be higher, you can be on a in between 3 to 5% or whatever is your heart saying you. But here the heart has to play more important role than the intellect. Now the second part, worrying about the future. It's useless to worry about the future. You can take care, but never worry. Take care, whatever best you understand, and that too in a normal limits. The people go to extra, above normal limits. Somebody we met in Australia, he said, I paid some $20,000 to hire somebody who calculated for me how much I will need down the line 30 years. Oh, poor guy, you don't know who will be you after 30 years. He's 60, and you don't know what will be the pace of the world after 30 years and what your money will be with you or not. Because you put in pension funds and you put somewhere, and in America, even the pension funds were lost in 2008 crisis, because they are never sure whether they are also on a firm grounds or on a shaky grounds. So having putting those aside, have some normal, I would say that when we are driving car, our vision is looking at, let's say, few hundred meters, which is required for us to drive. Similarly, for living me today, I will have my vision at a reasonable future, but not far too off, which leads me to a lot of turmoil within. Stop when the inner turmoil starts, because for the very purpose, as I said at the outset, I'm doing everything to become happy, and right now if it is making me unhappy and stressful, probably I'm on a wrong track. Let me first take care of my present harmony, happiness, and stress-free state first, and the future will always be stress-free.
Great, thank you. That was a great answer.
So have reasonable thinking, but don't go by what the world is doing. Don't follow what the world, because the world is doing, I should do. Learn, look, learn, have some extract for yourself what is good and what is reasonable and not, but ultimately have your own choice based on your correct understanding, and not only because all the actuarians or the so-called mathematicians or planners are telling you to do. And ultimately it is in the hands of nature. As I said, past is gone, future is in the hands of nature. Just live well in present and look ahead a little. Take care, but never worry about the future.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, Shailesh Anandji. It was a very wonderful talk, and we learned a lot today. Thank you very much all the participants who had many questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Greetings to all. Greetings to myself, because when I'm greeting you, I'm feeling I'm greeting myself with that oneness feeling. Jai Satchidana.